This is to help you with part 2 of your personal finance project. So your sheet 1 should be totally finished and look like this. So go to sheet 2. Right click on the sheet name and we're going to rename this housing. Come up to A1 and select all the way over to G2. Merge and center, and we are going to call this housing. Right? You can hit the check mark up here in the formula box and come over to cell styles. We're going to make this any color you like and then make it a title. Alright, I want you guys to type a couple of spaces right here from B4 to C4, and I want you to change their color. So make them any color that kind of stands out. So I'm going to go to do cell style, and I am going to actually change the formatting because I want to be a different color. So if you look at fill, you can pick a different color, and I'm going to pick a really bright yellow color and click OK. And click OK. And now that cell style is your custom style up here. Alright, and I do want you to highlight both boxes and right click. This is your mini toolbar. And right here there's this fill, the borders. So hit that drop down menu and click all borders, and now both those are selected. And I want you to just set those aside for right now because we're going to come back to them. In A6 we're going to type monthly wage, and this is actually going to contain our monthly wage. So resize column A by double clicking between A and B, and we're going to go get our monthly wage from part 1. So type an equal sign, go to your monthly wage page, click down here in B14 for your monthly wage, and then press enter. And now your monthly wage is over here. Reset it with that $ format, and you can keep the change if you like for this one. And we are also starting with $1,000. So we are actually going to start with $1,000. And make sure you use Format Painter to paint that same formatting on that one. Now we're going to calculate how much you can actually afford for rent, because I know a lot of you have had questions about that. So type in low end rent, colon, and then in A9 type high end rent. Okay, so for rent, you don't want to be spending your entire paycheck every month on rent. So what you want to be spending is between 1/3 and 1/4 of your salary. So the low end is going to equal your monthly wage, so it equals B6 divided by 4. That's the least amount you can afford. You obviously can go lower than that if you choose, but this is the lowest that you are able to go. And then for the high-end rents, type equals, click on B6, and divide that by 3. Okay, so these two cells right here tell you how much you can spend on your rent for your job. So you can find an apartment in between that range. If you go higher, you're going to have a little bit more trouble with the balancing in part 3. If you go lower, you're okay, but you'll be living in probably a much dodgier neighborhood. Alright, so then I want you to come down here into A11, and I want you to type in rent. Okay, so in B11, this is where your actual rent is going to go. So whenever you find your apartment, this is where your rent is going to go. So for right now, say your rent is going to be costing you $500. You know, I'm a little bit below where I was, that's okay. But say your rent is going to cost you $500. You only fill in that part once you actually have your rent. Alright, next up is deposits and fees. Alright, we need to resize column A again. Alright, deposits and fees are going to be usually listed on your apartment listing. So it will tell you if there is a $500 deposit, or deposit is as much as rent or half of rent or whatever it is. But if it's not listed, we're going to go ahead and assume that deposits and fees are going to be the same as 1 month rent. So you'll have to pay this chunk first. So I'm going to click this, and you see this little box right here, you can drag it down, and now they're both the same thing. Okay. And I want you to come in A13 and type in furnishing. This is where you're going to calculate all the furniture you're going to have. Alright, so now I want you to come over into D5, and I want you to type in already have, resize column D. In E5, say need to buy, and resize column E. F5, which is going to be location and link, and then resize that. And G is going to be cost. Alright, so I want you to select these 4 cells right here, go to cell styles, and we're going to make them heading 3. Already have is things that you already have in your bedroom and do not need to worry about buying for this project. So when you get home, you can fill a lot of this in, but maybe right now you can put in things like bed. Maybe you have a couch, right? Maybe you have a TV in your room. So you can kind of fill in all of the things that you already have that you don't have to worry about buying for this project. Need to buy are the expenditures that you're going to need to buy once. So like if you need to buy a bike, all right, I'm going to go online and I'm going to find a bike. So I'm going to open a new tab and I'm going to go to Target. All right, and I'm going to buy a bicycle. All right, and just for the sake of it, I'm going to buy a road bike. And I'm going to buy the very first one that pops up. All right, so this is the bike I'm going to buy. You copy this link up here, and it costs $159.09. So location and link, you put in Target, and now right click on that cell and select hyperlink. All right, and the address is where you're going to fill that in, and then click OK. And the cost was $159.09. Okay, and this whole column can be made with the $sign. All right, and so that's what you will do. So then you'll have a whole list of things that you are shopping for right in here. Also, if you go on Moodle and can't think of anything that you need to buy, there's this First Apartment Essentials checklist. So you can click on that and it brings you a list of all sorts of things that you'll need to buy for having your first apartment. And that should definitely help you at least get started for this part of the project. So when you get all the way down and you have a whole list of stuff, what I want you to do is when you're done shopping is come over to furnishing, say equals sum, open parenthesis, and then select all of your stuff that you're buying all the way down to the very bottom. Close the parenthesis and press enter, and that's how much. So now say, oh wait, I need to buy sheets. Alright, so I'm going to go back to Target. I'm going to put in queen sheets. And I'll get the sheet set. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to select my queen sheets. These are probably the $24.99 ones. So I'm going to get my link. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say they're from Target. Put in my hyperlink. Put in my address. Click OK. And these were $24.99. Alright, did you see this? Furnishing, the second you put that in, it automatically changed this formula over here. So that's what you want. You want a rolling total of how much you're spending. So now what we need to do is these two boxes right up here. So you're going to put in money left over. Alright, now we need to resize column B again, which is okay. Alright, so money left over is going to be part of our savings. So we're going to need this for the monkey wrench, but we need to see it right now because you also cannot go into debt in this part. So I suggest having your money left over total running while you're shopping. So you cannot have negative money. So your money left over is going to be equal to your monthly wage. So click on B6 plus click on B7. All right, then you're going to subtract your rent, subtract your deposits, and subtract your furnishing and press enter. So I have money left over. So say I decide that I'm going to buy a car from Craigslist. And you can do that, that's okay. And my car costs $3,000. Alright, so my furnishing now is changed, and my money left over is now negative. It cannot go negative, so I cannot afford this car. So I will have to think of something else to do. So I will need to take all of those off. Alright, and don't forget to click Save. And now don't forget, so you have to go to Insert, Header and Footer, put your name in the center. On the right side, put the due date. Go to Footer. In the center is going to be File Name, and in the right side is going to be Sheet Name. And then go back to Normal View, Control Home, and you are ready to continue shopping for your project.